If Jacob Gallagher didn't live in Emmerdale, reporting Dr Caitlin Todd to HR might have solved everything. Sadly, he lives in a village that thrives on secrets, deception and manipulation, meaning his battle with the intimidating surgeon is far from finished. For weeks, Jacob's confidence has been gradually worn down by Dr. Todd. Even when he wasn't on shift at Houghton General Hospital, he still felt overwhelming pressure at home, with his boss constantly demanding fresh research papers. His personal and professional worlds became even more entangled when he learned that Todd was moving in with Vanessa Woodfield. As if embarrassing him at the hospital wasn't enough, Dr. Todd now enjoys making it appear as though Jacob is fixated on her, doing so in front of a shocked Vanessa and local GP Manpreet Sharma. Next week, Caitlin continues to belittle Jacob around the village, cruelly suggesting to Sarah Sugden that he's eager to return to work, despite the recent arrival of baby Layla. After Sarah confronts him, Jacob goes to see Dr. Todd and tells her to back off, all while hiding the truth from his wife. He then follows Todd into the pub toilets, only to realize he has walked straight into her trap. Moments later, Vanessa walks in and is startled to see Jacob standing next to Todd. Later on, Jacob breaks down as he reveals the full extent of Todd's bullying to Sarah, who assures him they will tackle the issue together. The following day, Jacob attends a meeting with Carol from HR. He chooses to file an official complaint against Todd, but is left shocked when Carol explains that Caitlin has already lodged a complaint against him. To his disbelief, Jacob discovers that Dr. Todd has assembled a detailed file of evidence, including voice recordings, to support her claims. Returning home, Jacob tells Sarah he's ready to walk away from the fight. However, her encouragement gives him renewed determination, prompting him to head to Tug Gill to confront Dr. Todd once again. Emmerdale has laid the groundwork for an upcoming special episode focused on Kane and Moira Dingle, as the pair found themselves caught up in a highly tense moment. With cracks in their relationship becoming more obvious, the question remains whether the much-loved couple can overcome their struggles. The past few months have been particularly difficult for them, with Kane's cancer diagnosis coinciding with Moira's wrongful imprisonment. Although she was later freed after being proven innocent, adjusting back to everyday life has not been easy for her. This is largely due to her decision to sell her share of Butler's farm to the Tates, forcing the family to move in with Lydia and Sam after her release. The situation has led to mounting tension, especially between her and Kane. In tonight's episode of the ITV soap, Kane went to the garage to talk with Aaron, but Moira questioned him as soon as he arrived. She urged him to cut back on work for the sake of his health, yet Kane refused to listen. After being sharply dismissed, Moira went to Home Farm to confront Joe Tate, the man responsible for the chain of events that led to her imprisonment. Meanwhile, Kane headed to the Woolpack, where he shared a quiet drink with Aaron and admitted he was finding it hard to juggle his marriage with their new living arrangements at Lydia and Sam's home. Aaron, however, encouraged him to rely on his wife during this difficult time. Elsewhere, Moira confronted Joe at gunpoint over his role in her ordeal. Graham Foster entered and tried to calm the situation, but Moira remained composed as she delivered a pointed speech about Joe's manipulative nature. The tension escalated further when Dawn Fletcher walked in and urged Moira to put the gun down, shocking everyone by revealing she was pregnant. Moira eventually backed off, though she made it clear her conflict with Joe was far from resolved. Back at home, Moira reunited with Kane, and the two agreed to sit down and discuss their problems over a cup of tea. They exchanged apologies, but the mood quickly shifted when Moira jokingly remarked that they had finally been intimate again. Kane took issue with her comment, insisting that nothing about their situation was a joke. As Moira pleaded with him to stay and work through their problems, Kane angrily walked out, setting the stage for the next episode. Moira Dingle may not have fired the gun in Emmerdale, but it would be a mistake to think Joe Tate has escaped unscathed. Following that intense confrontation, it's obvious she's playing a much longer game, and this time, she won't be going it alone. With a surprising ally now by her side, Moira's plan for revenge is already beginning to take shape, and Joe could soon find himself in more trouble than he expects. As Tuesday's episode, April 28th, began, tensions were already boiling over. Kane lashed out once again, while Moira chose not to reveal the truth about Robert, determined to avoid adding to his stress. Later on, Aaron urged Kane to make amends with Moira, helping him realize he needed to put things right. Meanwhile, Moira had a clear goal in mind. Carrying a shotgun, she made her way to Home Farm and let herself in to confront Joe. When Graham arrived, he tried to step in and defuse the situation, but Moira stood firm. She made it clear she knew exactly what Joe had done. Joe attempted to pin the blame on Robert, but Moira refused to believe him. Just as things reached a critical point, Dawn entered and revealed she was pregnant, showing the test as proof. In a panic, she pleaded with Moira not to take the father of her child away. Graham assured Moira that if she walked away, they would ensure the police stayed out of it. She agreed, but not without issuing a warning, making it clear that Joe's reckoning would come, and she would make sure he paid. Back at home, Moira and Kane tried to resolve their issues, but the conversation quickly fell apart. As emotions ran high, Kane stormed out, leaving their relationship in a fragile state. Over at Home Farm, Joe was delighted by the pregnancy news and confidently spoke about getting revenge on Moira. Dawn, however, began to feel uneasy. Although Joe brushed everything aside and blamed Robert, it was clear she wasn't fully convinced. Later in the week, Dawn encounters Moira again, and a pointed comment about Joe leaves her shaken. Already full of doubts, Dawn heads to Wishing Well and demands the truth. This time, Moira reveals Joe's role in framing her, leaving Dawn shocked and desperate for answers. Looking ahead, Dawn struggles to maintain a brave face. While Joe celebrates the pregnancy and shares the news, she finds it hard to match his excitement, weighed down by what she has learned. Eventually, she turns back to Moira, admitting she can't remain with Joe because she despises what he has done. But Moira has a different approach. She encourages Dawn to stay, pointing out that she'll need financial stability if she wants to fight for custody. From there, a plan begins to take shape between them. Together, they become determined to bring Joe Tate down. The only uncertainty is how far they are willing to go, and whether Joe will realize what's coming before it's too late. Emmerdale's Dawn Fletcher stunned Joe Tate with the revelation that she is pregnant with his child, delivering the news while he was being held at gunpoint by Moira Dingle. Olivia joined Emmerdale in 2018 as Dawn Taylor, later becoming Dawn Fletcher in 2022 after marrying Billy. However, her life took a dramatic turn last year when she began an affair with Joe Tate. Everything started to unravel when she uncovered his disturbing actions during Lydia's surprise party at Home Farm. Dawn also discovered that Joe had threatened to send her daughter Clemmy away after the child bit him upon seeing him kiss Dawn. Not long after, viewers saw Joe being pushed from an upstairs window, and although multiple people were suspected, it was ultimately revealed that Dawn was responsible. Despite everything, they managed to move forward and remained strong as a couple until recently, when Dawn found out that Joe had been blackmailing Robert and had orchestrated Moira Dingle's imprisonment for his own benefit. Emmerdale airs on weeknights at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and is also available for streaming on ITVX.